I'm Rafał Bartoszewski. I've lived in a city for all my life, but I always knew that the best and the most important things are outside. That's why I want to take you. Closer to the nature.
Many people who have seen cranes somewhere in the field have fallen in love with these birds, which were used in art by outstanding artists. Their unique voice, appearance, grace, but also mystery have always inspired and aroused admiration. I am currently going to the Biebrza National Park to meet them. It is autumn now. We have the beginning of October and unfortunately the last days when cranes are preparing to fly away from Poland. They will move from here to the south. In the northeastern Poland, two migration roads of these birds cross. One of them, the west one, leads to the Iberian Peninsula, and the other one, east, to northeast Africa. Now, however, there are events, during which even thousands of birds concentrate in the given area. It takes place in spring and autumn, but in autumn they are bigger and have the great importance especially for young birds who will fly with their parents to wintering grounds for the first time in their life. Moreover, they learn living in the group, correct behavior, and finding right places for feeding and sleeping. I heard that unfortunately the big part of the birds have flown away from the Biebrza, but I've already seen a few groups feeding on cornfields, so I hope that in the evening I'll be able to observe a large flock. Cranes use various food sources depending on their availability and environmental conditions. Corn is eagerly eaten by birds preparing to go to the wintering grounds. If they have a chance, birds, especially these who spend winter with us, visit farmlands, what causes that often farmers are not friendly to these animals and they blame them for damaging crops. The common crane is a large bird, the highest species in Europe, and in its plumage dominates subdued colors, ashy grey, black and white. The naked skin at the top of the bird's head, which is red, especially draws attention. Interestingly, the impressive crane's tail is not their tail at all. These are tertially wing feathers, which look like that. Although the number of crane population increases, it is a timid species that prefers places that are quite unavailable for others, located far away from humans, and protected against unexpected attack by a predator. These are wetlands, swamps, and generally quiet places. Most often, cranes choose the appropriate forest areas. However, it turns out that more and more often they have to reduce the distance separating them from human. As a result of the decline of wild and inaccessible areas, cranes sometimes have to occupy territories closer to people. The birds mate for a lifetime and do not separate even at wintering grounds. They are coming back to Poland even in the second half of January, but most of them decide to return in March. During the breeding season, cranes are territorial and defend their area against neighbors. Both birds build there a mound that acts as a nest and is surrounded by water. It is built mainly of plant fragments from the closest area. There is a family of cranes feeding far in front of me. Young individuals can be easily recognized by the lack of a characteristic pattern on the head, which is rather brownish, but also by the voice, which is completely different from what is characteristic for adult cranes. Here we have a situation typical for a pair of birds that have had a partial breeding success, and one young is present here. Cranes usually lay 2 eggs, and situations where their number is different are rare. Birds are very good parents. Cranes feed primarily on a very diverse plant food, but sometimes they also catch invertebrates or even small vertebrates, which is most often noticeable when they take care of offspring. The sun is slowly approaching the horizon and there is about 1.5 hours to the dusk. I have to go quickly to the place where the cranes will gather for the night. If I get there too late, I will frighten them away and we will observe nothing. The cranes finally fly to one place. They come from all directions and several hundred birds have already landed on the ground, so there is a quite big crowd there. Even if I wanted to look through the binoculars, I wouldn't see all of them. The young individuals often sit down on the ground, so they cannot be seen because at this time the adults stand upright and observe the area. Another flock is flying. I think we can very carefully get closer to have a better view of the birds. There are more and more of them. Trees also offer some opportunities to hide, although it is very important not to reduce the distance between me and the birds too much. I can continue my observations mainly with binoculars. When they fly over my head, I listen to their voice and it still makes a huge impression on me. At the beginning of every year, after winter, I always look forward to hear them again. It's a symbol that the spring is coming, and always it's an impulse that makes me smile. Cranes have a quite diverse language that they learn from an early age. When they communicate with each other, they make different sounds, the most famous of which is the loud clangor, resembling the sound of a trumpet. The youngs, however, squeaks, what can be easily caught even in the loud herd of adults. The birds are in constant contact. Regardless of whether they are flying or have already landed on the ground, the individuals in each group communicate with each other, but also individual groups exchange information. I don't know how many birds have already landed on the ground, but hundreds and thousands of them join. Cranes literally fill the sky. You could see them everywhere around. Magic. The silhouettes of the cranes on the sky make an amazing impression during the sunset. And their voice. It's getting cold, but I don't want to go.